Somebody please take Young Thug's phone out of his hand. We're having a Meek Mill situation here, man. Because after the video that I just dropped yesterday, he went on a complete... He's on a fumble spree. This is one of the worst post-prison releases, post-prison favored and anticipated releases that we've seen fumbled. I think the only thing that holds up to this is Bobby, and Bobby Shmurda might... We at least got to give Bobby Shmurda credit that he didn't tell, because Young Thug and Bobby Shmurda came out minding his own business. Young Thug came out and he started, well, not even when he came out, he was sending whispers from beyond the cell talking about like, nah, this person told, don't mess with this person. So he starts going at Gunna, he starts going at Kid Cudi, even like people that he has no involvement with. He doesn't drop any music to build some goodwill. It's been what? But hell, has it? Nah, it's not been a year, but it's been a very long time. What are we going on? 9 months? We're going on a birth. It hit Mariah the Scientist. His girlfriend dropped a project before him. Like, are we joking here? What's going on? But the most recent one is he starts going back and forth with Rylo. And, well, actually, he starts trying to defend himself on social media first. So I'm going to read you guys those clips. This is so funny. So people were posting that this motion got posted to suppress the detective from testifying that was going to say that Young Thug had said a statement about him. He said, yeah, so he was saying he was locked in a police car and having information on a murder case. That's what this guy was saying. And then Young Thug posts this morning and says this motion got filed because the detective lied and said I made a statement in back of a police car. Stupid. That never ever happened. Okay, whatever. But as you can see, Young Thug's going back and forth with the internet right now. Young Thug has not experienced the brute force or the smackdown of the internet since he was wearing a dress. Because after that, he was just favored. Like, everybody loved him. They're like, Young Thug's so cool. The YSL case. Everyone's showing him support. He comes out, everyone's showing him support. So he's never really faced it like, yo, we don't mess with you, what you did was lame. And especially when it comes to a character trait that he believes that he does not have. So in his idea, his morals, his world, he is not telling. He is not a rat. Now, what he was sitting in there, there's a new definition for it. It's not telling. It's another phrase that we'll get to. But he goes on to say, stop trying to make me one of those boys. Death before dishonor this way, kids. So first he says you got to go gospel if you told. We don't know if this Ooey Scooty album is going to be gospel or not. So, and then he says death before dishonor this way. And he's still breathing. At least someone else isn't typing this. But what happens is this back and forth starts with Rylo. So now let me give you guys a little bit of background on Rylo if you're unfamiliar. Rylo is one of these street dudes from Atlanta that just had a ton of money and nobody knew how. I think he had this complex of apartments that was called like Pakistan or something like that, and he was known for being Muslim and he had a ton of money, and then he started rapping. So he started putting a lot of money into his raps, posting his stuff on World Star Hip Hop, probably paying for it to be on World Star Hip Hop back when getting written on the World Star site was huge. Like, we're talking 2016, 2017. You still got a lot of juice from being posted on the front of World Star's page. I remember, I think it was 2018 maybe. Was it? It might have been 2018 that they posted one of my videos on their front page, and it boomed. I think it's still one of my biggest videos, and that was because of World Star. They got me like 10 or 10K subs at that point, and I had maybe less than 10K at that point. So that was a huge deal. But now we're going back and forth with Rylo. So a lot of people believe that Rylo told. Rylo caught a case for like transporting maybe like 500 pounds a week. Or something like that. It was a ridiculous amount. We know he was trapping. So he sat down, he was doing time. He didn't know if he was going to get 20 years or not. I think like he was awaiting trial for so many years, and he was just constantly tweeting out about, he was going to hold it down. He would never tell, etc. Eventually, he gets, I think, time served, or he pleads to something, and everyone starts calling him a rat, saying he told. Now, to be complete, and Young Thug is one of the people that distanced themselves from Rylo. Now, to be fair, I can tell you, I would say I'm a high school graduate, at least a middle school graduate, when it comes to proficiency in telling / ratting / snitching. I may even be I would say I'm a high school graduate. If it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, all that other stuff, it's a duck. It's obvious. Now, there's levels to identifying telling. Like, for instance, at Professor Emeritus, or Emeritus, Professor Emeritus, we're going with my first gut instinct. Like, at that tier, the top tier, you've got Whack 100. That's Professor Emeritus of telling. If he says somebody told, they told. Now, we've got a tenured professor right underneath that. So, they've established their spot. That would be, let's say, a 1090 Jake, right? Like, some people say he might have fumbled with the 50 Cent situation. He's a tenured professor, okay? So he's allowed to mess up a little bit. He can't get fired. Then you've got PhDs. Who's a PhD in telling? I would say, not anybody that I can think of off the top of mind. But yeah, so I'm a high schooler. Now, to understand whether or not Rylo told, I couldn't tell you because it's past high school. You at least need a PhD in tellinology, snitchology, to be able to dissect that and explain whether or not he told. Me, frankly, I don't know. Haven't gotten into it that deep. I see what Gunna did. That looks like telling. I see what Young Thug did. That looks and sounds like telling. So it's high school level right there. Now, what Rylo says is he starts going in. And he goes in starting yesterday and says, I ain't going ish on you like you ished on me when everybody went against me. I'ma pray for you and hope we can all get this ish back together. So he's throwing subs right there. And then he sends a message to Pee Wee Roscoe and says, you a hoe. Where you at? Let's meet so I can show the world how much of a B you is. And this is after Pee Wee Roscoe, who was the guy that Young Thug was saying was selling Wayne weed. He was the guy that he was offering him up in the tour bus situation. And Pee Wee Roscoe goes on to defend Young Thug on an IG live, but calls out Rylo. He's like, what Thug did, that's not telling. What Rylo did is telling. And Rylo's probably looking around, and we're looking around like, what the hell? Why'd you bring him into this? It's not like he's popping or something. He's trying to deflect. So Rylo posts that and says, slap. And he says, I ain't going. I don't even know why a F would play with me like that. Paint whatever picture you want of me, and I'll help you hang that ish up so I can show you how much I don't give a F. And then he posts that motion by that Young Thug replied to. So Young Thug saw Rylo posted. So this is like an internal Atlanta thing, not even just the internet. But he says, good morning. I just want to tell that ugly fat B, Big Jade, she owe me and Gunna an apology for how she did us. That Big B won't be able to fit them spider sweatsuits when I get done with how much ish I'm finna talk. Nothing beats a jet to Holiday. And that's in reference to this girl, Baby Jade. So Rylo says, the big bouncer herself, back promoting parties. Are you working the door or kitchen? And yeah, he starts going in on her. And then Young Thug responds to Rylo, but he just screenshots that. And then Rylo says, well, B, I lied to the feds for real, and you still called Lil Baby and told him to cut me off because I wasn't right. So now you gonna have to go through what me and Gunna went through, and we waiting on that gospel album too, twin. Whew. And then Young Thug replies to him and says, see, the difference between me and you is one of your friends said you didn't lie. You actually told on real people. So that's one of his friends or former friends. You said that somebody actually did something that they was arrested for. I made an honest mistake saying that we sold Lil Wayne weed. So it's not telling anymore. It's not ratting. It's not snitching. It's an honest mistake. Like 6ix9ine just got up there and gave an honest mistake in trial. Look, Gunna just made an honest mistake. Well, we really can't compare what Gunna and Young Thug did to 6ix9ine, or should we say A$AP Rocky? Maybe A$AP Rocky just made an honest mistake too, right? Nah, A$AP Rocky is a completely different situation. Him and 6ix9ine, there's nothing to be argued there. But Thug here talking about an honest mistake. It sounds like Gunna had an honest mistake. Nothing that Gunna did even scratches the surface of that video that Young Thug did. He says, trying to prove to the detectives that we wasn't beefing with him. You know what the honest mistake is? It was induced by these detectives that outplayed you and outsmarted you. And you know how you win being outplayed and outsmarted? You sit down, you shut up, and you call your lawyer, just like DaBaby does. And he says, see the difference? And let's not forget, you told Fonny you would take the stand on me and Lucci in our case to get out of jail. So was that an honest mistake? Because we didn't see him get on the stand and like tell on you. I just don't see Rylo doing that, frankly. Like him on the stand telling, I can't see that. And then Young Thug says, I tried to free my mans. You tried to fry yours. At Rylo, laughing emoji. Oh, dear God almighty. This guy's, he tried to free his mans. Dog, what is he freeing? Pee Wee Roscoe got time. Pee Wee Roscoe had got like, he had been serving like 5+ years. Was it 10 years? I don't know. He had served a bunch of time already. He got sentenced to 20 years and he was just hitting him with a free Roscoe and a salute while he was blowing up in the rap game, living life with Jerica Carlay at that time. Like, yo, Young Thug is just, this is such a terrible run and he's trying to win the internet and he's trying to win the streets on the internet and it's just all bad. It is really bad. And I sent out a tweet and I said, yo, him and Meek are neck and neck right now. Like, at least nobody could say that Meek Mill told or there's any audio of Meek Mill close to telling. This is terrible. And the only person Young Thug has to blame is himself. Like, people wanted to defend Thug, but number one, he didn't give them any good music. Number two, Gunn has been given straight fire music. And number three, he decided to be this figure that's like, man, F these rats. He told